EV maker, this time in China, the world's top auto market, is now going out of business.
90% of the manufacturers may face insolvency.
The state of the Chinese electric vehicle market and the overall economy isn't looking good. Automakers are in a state of panic as their plans for an all-electric future seem unsustainable. They're struggling to penetrate Western markets, which are increasingly skeptical about the feasibility of a new era of green mobility. In short, we're witnessing a fierce battle for survival that could potentially mark the biggest collapse in automotive history. Let's delve into the reasons why. Starting at number 7, there's a growing sense of disillusionment with electric vehicles worldwide. With China's remarkable economic growth, there was a push to establish itself as a global technological leader. Recognizing its limitations compared to established automakers, China opted to prioritize electrification as a strategic move. The government poured billions not only into numerous EV startups, but also into securing lithium and other essential resources globally. There was a time when it appeared that Chinese EV companies would dominate the market, leaving legacy automakers in the dust. Expectations were high for these new EV brands to revolutionize the industry, but reality hit hard. The rapid transition to electric vehicles wasn't as smooth as anticipated. Instead, Western governments are pumping the brakes on their electrification plans, opting to stick with internal combustion engines for a while longer. The challenge for China is that they can't afford this delay. The country invested heavily in EVs with the goal of seizing the global market within a few years. Now, these once promising EV startups are teetering on the brink. None of the Chinese EV companies have successfully carved out a significant presence in Western markets, and with domestic demand plateauing, their future looks uncertain. Their growth relied heavily on hefty incentives rather than a sustainable business model. Now, it's time to face the consequences, and everyone will feel the sting, even the industry giants, because none of them figured out how to turn a profit with EVs. Moving on to number 6, the slowdown in the domestic market. You might assume that with its vast size, China's domestic market could sustain these companies. However, that's not the case because, like in the West, China's car market is hitting the brakes. It's still a few million vehicles shy of its peak in 2017. What's particularly noteworthy is the deceleration in the EV segment, which had seen explosive growth exceeding 100% for a couple of years. In 2023, growth tapered to around 45%, but then things took a turn for the worse. February saw a significant downturn, with year-over-year changes plummeting by 20%. Multiple factors contribute to this unexpected slowdown, with the Chinese economy being a major player. After decades of rapid expansion, it appears to have plateaued. While there's still some growth, the reality for everyday citizens is harsher than the overall statistics suggest. The Chinese middle class is facing setbacks, and the government is struggling to stimulate consumer spending. Additionally, the real estate market has taken a hit, and managing liquidity in the banking system is proving challenging for the government. Let's move on to number 5, the price war. With the EV market facing oversupply, major players saw no alternative but to engage in a price war. Several months back, industry leaders initiated this fierce competition, aiming to edge out smaller-scale producers. Leading the charge was BYD, China's largest EV manufacturer, which had dethroned Tesla as the world's top-selling EV company in the last quarter of 2023. However, recent market shifts have taken a toll on BYD, resulting in a staggering 37% sales drop in February. Consequently, BYD models are now available at their most affordable prices ever. It all began with BYD offering discounts of up to 20,000 yuan, equivalent to around $2,800. Suddenly, EVs with a price tag of 100,000 yuan, roughly $14,000, were up for grabs for less than 80,000 yuan, approximately $11,000. Other companies swiftly joined the fray, intensifying the competition and leading to discounts of up to 50% in some instances. According to Chinese sources, EV prices have dropped by an average of 30% compared to just a few months ago. Notably, both domestic and foreign automakers, including Tesla, are partaking in this price war. Tesla, headquartered in Austin, Texas, has slashed prices in China significantly, with the Model 3 seeing a drop from 265,000 to 229,000 yuan, roughly $33,000 to $31,000. Similarly, the Model Y now retails for 259,000 yuan, down from its previous MSRP of 288,000 yuan. Interestingly, unlike domestic manufacturers, Tesla has seen an uptick in sales recently, reporting a 26% increase in February. Let's discuss number 4, discounts on internal combustion, IC cars. Naturally, the price war initiated a ripple effect, leading to Chinese EV startups facing competition from multiple fronts. They're not just vying against each other or imported EVs like Tesla anymore. Now, they're entrenched in battles on numerous fronts, as traditional gas-powered cars show no signs of relinquishing their market dominance easily. Legacy automakers are determined to maintain their stronghold for as long as possible. Hence, they're also slashing prices significantly. The discounts offered by legacy car makers are substantial. According to reports from China, models such as the Honda Accord and Audi A7 have seen price drops of $4,000 to $5,000, while the Audi A6 is now available with a staggering $122,000 discount. Other legacy brands are following suit, with certain Mercedes-Benz models being $10,000 cheaper than before. Reports suggest that over 30 legacy automakers are engaging in this price war. The competition has reached such a fever pitch that it's now possible to purchase a brand new Hyundai Elantra for just over $110,000. It's evident why the EV market is experiencing such rapid deceleration under these circumstances. Let's delve into number 3, BYD's struggles in the global market. As the largest EV manufacturer in China, BYD's challenges mirror those faced by other Chinese EV brands. Despite impressive sales figures, BYD encounters a major hurdle: expanding into broader markets. While it has ventured into exporting EVs to Europe, Australia, and other regions, sales remain lackluster. For instance, its European sales barely surpassed 16,000 units last year. With a staggering 95% of its sales concentrated in China, the recent 37% dip in February exacerbates the vulnerability of Chinese EV manufacturers. To ensure survival, they urgently need to diversify into other markets. However, given the current trends, this task appears daunting. Moving on to number 2, entry of Huawei and Xiaomi. Just when you thought the Chinese EV startup landscape couldn't get any busier, 2 tech giants renowned for their prowess in consumer electronics have thrown their hats into the ring. Huawei and Xiaomi have caused quite a stir in the domestic car market with their new models, striking an impressive balance between price and performance. Huawei led the charge with its EV debut, the S7, boasting a robust 800-volt architecture and an attractive price tag of 258,000 yuan, approximately $35,500, positioning itself as a competitor to the Tesla Model S. Shortly after, Xiaomi introduced its even more affordable SU7, priced at 25,900 yuan, around $3,484. with a remarkable range of 350 kilometers on a single charge. These 2 EVs have significantly raised the bar, making the survival prospects of other players in the industry much more challenging. Let's wrap up with number 1. Forecasts suggest that 70% of EV manufacturers are on the brink of collapse. Considering the current landscape, it's not surprising that many Chinese EV experts anticipate a wave of bankruptcies in the near future. Put simply, the market is oversaturated. In 2017, there were over 500 registered EV companies in China. Although this number has since decreased to around 90, it remains unusually high even for a market as large as China's. Recent reports indicate that most of these companies struggle to make significant strides, with 1/3 of them unable to sell more than 2,000 cars annually. In contrast, the top 10 EV manufacturers, including Tesla, command over 80% of the market share. It's evident where this trend is heading. Most of these companies are headed for closure. Only a select few will likely survive, and even they may need to consider strategic collaborations because the global EV market is experiencing a slowdown. The dream of a swift and seamless transition to electric cars is fading, posing a significant challenge for Chinese EV manufacturers that urgently require profitability to stay afloat. Meanwhile, legacy automakers find some solace in the realization that the phase-out of internal combustion engines is still decades away. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time.